And we should be live, if I'm not mistaken here. All right, just waiting on you guys to trickle in here. Let's see if I am showing up here. All right, officially live. Just going to tweet out the link here. What's going on, guys? Let me know if you guys can hear me, see me. Let me know down in the comment section. I'm just tweeting out the link here for the live. All right, perfect. I see CV3. I see you. I see Ivan. Yes. Appreciate that, guys. All right. Apologies here. Just posting out the link. What's going on, guys? Christian, Jesse, MNR, Champ, Chirac. I see everybody in the chat. What is good? You guys see the background is a little updated. Trying to get better with the tech here and just improve the quality of the stream. But yeah, I need to do more live streams. I had so much fun yesterday in the live stream, man, that I'm like, what the heck? I'm gonna do another live stream today. So that's what I'm gonna do. So just rant a little bit, take your guys' questions, you know, just a little bit of everything here, but just some housekeeping to start off. Champ, I appreciate that. Thank you for the love on the background. Yeah, just try to find a good one. Some housekeeping to start off here. I did post a video today talking about my 5 biggest takeaways from the loss in week 1. And if you guys have not checked that out, please do check that out. I will kind of go over what I talked about in that video. So real quick here, submit your questions too, by the way, guys. I'm going to get through all of the questions. Super chat if you want your question answered for sure. But just work with me here. Let me get through the takeaways. So the biggest takeaways I had from that game against the Packers, and I know we should be turning the page towards the Bucks here, but like we got to talk about this, right? Because it's still so deflating. MNRICU, he says, bro, you sound so down. Relax. The season will be awesome. I really hope so. Man. I think we all just get down because of how much we expect from this team and how much we love this team. So it certainly does get very disheartening when the team doesn't perform. But I'm hanging in there. Look, I just want to hold people accountable. That's it. All right. So talking about my 5 biggest takeaways from the game. The 5th one was Roschon Johnson needs to be the RB1. Flat out. Point blank period. Roschon Johnson showed that he was better than Khalil Herbert. He was better than Dante Foreman. I know it was only a 1-game sample, but he is the more talented back. And the best thing I love about Roschon, guys, is he does it all. He's a great runner. He can catch the football out of the backfield, and he can pass protect. He can block. So why not start Roschon next week? I'm actually posting a video right after this live talking about why Roschon Johnson should be the RB1. And if you are in fantasy football, and I know some of you guys are because you guys play in my leagues, pick up Roschon Johnson if he is on the waiver wire. He shouldn't be, but if he is, pick him up. All right. Number 4, we got to be better on 3rd down, guys. I mean, I felt like that game was decided on 3rd down. We kept stopping Jordan Love on 1st down and 2nd down, and 3rd down is where he just killed us. He killed us. And it wasn't even one of those like incredible throws on 3rd down where it's like, oh, you just got to throw your hands up and give it to Jordan Love. Hey, great play. Can't do anything, right? Better offense. But no, it was literally a guy streaking wide open in the middle of the field. Sometimes it was Jaden Reed. Sometimes it was Romeo Dobbs. Whatever the case may be, our 3rd down defense was atrocious. 3rd down is money down, folks. That's the down where you just got to come up with the stop. And if you can't do that, then you're just not going to be a good defense. Number 3, offensive play calling. Obviously, we've talked about this ad nauseum with regards to the screen game. Like that was just, so abysmal and using too many damn screens. But You know, the short passing game, I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is spamming it. I really, really, really need the Bears to utilize Fields' strengths, which is down the field. So please, please, we need to improve the play calling, and that is Luke Getsy. I'm looking at you on that one. All right, number two, Justin Fields. The motion release of the motion is a little too slow, and he needs to pick that up. He needs to hit the open guys. Watching the tape back again, there were definitely some open receivers that he missed out on, and so you definitely want to make sure that he cleans that up, and he will. Part of it is also, I feel like the offensive line, just not being there for him. It's just kind of scarred him a little bit, but also Justin, he can't hold the ball on too long. That's his two issues right now: the slower release and holding the ball on too long. And with the bad offensive line, just can't do that. And number one, by far, the biggest takeaway: DJ Moore needs to get the freaking football. If next game DJ Moore does not have at least 6 targets, at least he should have 10, then that is coaching malpractice. We can start calling for Luke Getsy's job at that point, because that is indefensible. To go ahead and trade for a number one receiver and not use him, only throw the ball to him 2 times. And both times, by the way, he caught the football, made good things happen, got some yak. That is indefensible. So those are my five takeaways. So go ahead and check out that video, more detail on that, or at least more detail in the video. But let's go ahead and answer some questions here from you guys. Again, super chat if you want your question answered right away. I see a number of you guys in here, so let's go ahead and do so. First up, Chirac, Bobby. Packers will only have 1 first rounder now that Rodgers is injured. That pick becomes a second, which means Packers may not be in contention for Caleb Williams. Look, Bobby, I'm not really worried about the Packers right now. I'm worried about the Bears. And honestly, with regards to the Aaron Rodgers injury, I feel terrible for him. Packers fans, every fan should be feeling sad. I just posted a video about the Rodgers injury. Like, my heart just dropped, man. You never want that to happen to anybody, especially first game. So hyped that all of the Jets fans. I mean, if there's a fan base right now that is struggling more than Bears fans, it's Jets fans, because you just got the heart ripped out of you because of, the quarterback that you were waiting for. You finally had a real quarterback. You finally had an elite quarterback, and, he's gone. 4 plays. He's gone. Less than 75 seconds into the game. He's gone. Just terrible. So yeah, the Packers pick is going to be a 2nd round pick because now Aaron Rodgers is obviously out for the season, not going to play 65% of snaps, but yeah. And as far as Caleb Williams, folks, look, until you get the right coaches in the building, until the organizational structure is there, any quarterback's going to struggle. We could be having the same convo with Caleb Williams in 3 years. Don't want to talk about that. Mo, JF1 can't play 100% to his level best with still a shitty O-line. He can't 100%, I agree, but he can be better. He can be better, and here's why. There were plays to be made where he got an acceptable, keep in mind I'm saying the word, an acceptable amount of time to throw the football away. You're not going to get 5 to 10 seconds in the pocket. You're just not. No quarterback is. So you have to be able to, take the chances when you get them to throw the football. So I'm not saying he's going to be perfect, and I'm not saying the offensive line is going to be perfect, but he can still be better. All right, we have a super chat here. So let me go ahead and pull that up. Thank you, Void Eclipse 248 for the super chat, man. Super chat if you guys want your questions answered right away. I'm trying to get through these all. Do you think the Bears should put more effort into using Chase Claypool more? Great question. So I do think that Chase Claypool should be a big part of the offense. So my short answer is yes, but my long answer to that is not above DJ Moore, not above Mooney, and some of these other guys. So basically, yes, use Chase Claypool more for sure, but I don't believe the lack of utilization of Chase Claypool is why we lost that game. We definitely needed to use DJ Moore more. And once DJ Moore starts dominating and defenses start paying more attention to him, that's when Chase, that's when Mooney, that's when Komet, all these other guys will find themselves open, because the teams will be, going ahead and covering DJ Moore with more than one defender. So yes, they should, but it's not the biggest problem right now. All right. So thank you for the super chat again. Super chat if you guys want your question answered right away. Trying to get through these. Um, Pesos, we got a fantasy question here. Actually, I love fantasy football. I talk about it all the time. Madison or Swift for fantasy? I think Alexander Madison this week is playing the Eagles, and DeAndre Swift is playing the Vikings. This is a Thursday night football game. I go with Alexander Madison. He's just a workhorse, main running back. DeAndre Swift is part of a committee with Kenneth Gainwell and Rashad Penny. I think he was inactive last week, but still, it's more of a committee. I'd go with Madison. All right. So Bears Junkie 23 HOF. There's no excuse for preparing 8 months for a single game and to come out and play like that. We are an effort-based team that plays with no effort. Coaches need to be gone. 100% agree. 1000% agree. That is why I was lashing out and why I was so angry is because look, it's not about winning or losing. It's about the way you won or you lost, all right? Or at least the way you lost. If it was a close game, Bears fans would be fine. They'd still be sad, but they would be fine. It's because you got blown out. It's because the guys showed no effort. It's because the coaches looked unprepared. It was just so flat out embarrassing. Like, that's the part where I'm just like, ugh. As far as the coaches need to be gone part, look, folks, we know the deal. No one's going to be gone after one game. They shouldn't. It's only one game. But the seat keeps getting hotter every single week. Okay? It's going to get hotter every single week. So if we have another performance like that, it's going to double it and then keep adding up to where, yeah, if we're still here week 5, week 6, week 8, and we're getting these type of unprepared, terrible performances, then yes, the coaching staff needs to be gone, point blank, period. I got another super chat here from Chris. Let me pull that up for you guys. Chris Ayers, I'd like to record to reflect. Excuse me. I'd like the record to reflect. I don't know why I can't talk. That we gave up a first-round pick for Claypool, number 32 overall, bad trade. So you are correct. We did give up technically a first-round pick, the last pick in the first round. I still think that the jury is still completely not out on Chase Claypool. We still have 16 more games for him to prove us, correct or right. Ryan Poles prove him right. But yeah, as of right now, we're on the losing end of that trade. I will not disagree with you on that, Chris. Right now, we are on the losing end, but we still have time. All right, getting back to the questions here. Dave O'Dowd, I think Flus doesn't believe in the O-line. If he didn't believe in Fields, then why would they trade the number 1 pick? This is a great point. The coaching staff traded the number 1 overall pick. The general manager traded the number 1 overall pick because they believed and they went all out on Fields. Okay, which they should have. But if you don't believe in the offensive line, then why aren't you trying to improve it? This is where the whole thing happens. Is it the chicken or the egg, right? Ryan Poles, you should have done a better job with the offensive line. But hey, maybe there weren't that many resources out there, offensive linemen out there. So it's you got to coach them up to be better. Is that Matt Eberflus? So it's just who do you blame? That's why everyone gets held accountable here. Devon Kidwell, I have 2 8-month-old boys. Should I save them from a life of disappointment and pain from being a Bears fan? That's a great question, Devon. So I am a very anti-bandwagon fan. I don't like bandwagon fans. But I will say this, when people, fans specifically, say, hey, I'm done supporting this team, I'm done supporting that team that they've been supporting for their whole life, childhood, whatever the case is, they grew up loving that team, and they hop over to another team, I'm not a fan of that because, again, when you are rooting for a team and you go through the struggle and the team then wins, it feels so great, right? It would be so easy for me to be like, oh yeah, guys, starting tomorrow, I'm a Chiefs fan. It'd be so easy for me to say that, but obviously I'm not going to say that because I'm being a bandwagon here. I'm just hopping on the team that's the best, and then whoever wins the Super Bowl year after that. So I'm not a fan of bandwagoning teams, but here's what I will tell you, Devon. All right, if you want to boycott the team or take a break from them or just lessen the amount of, I would say, investment you've had in that team. For instance, let's say you go to a Bears game every single year, but you're just tired as bleep of this team and its ineptitude. that year, don't go to the Bears game. I have no issue with that. Like, there needs to be some sort of punishment, and usually it's when you hurt them in the pockets, for the owners and for the coaches and for the GM for putting that ineptitude out on the field. So yeah, you can punish them, you can boycott them temporarily in different ways, but I just don't like bandwagoning, if that makes sense. Show Braxton, this Fields mentality being impacted by the condition of his offensive line. Absolutely. Justin Fields does not look confident. He looks shaken. He looks like he's not the same player. That is up to the coaches to be able to get him out of that and just make him more confident, folks. His rookie year, he was slinging the football. Now he's just taking checkdowns. Like, that's a confidence thing. You need him to get more confident. So yeah, absolutely. His offensive line being shaky all these years has really made him shaky. All right. Ken, 1973, I read an article saying that Flus left a note for Davis saying that he was loafing during training camp, and they have been repairing that issue. Dinner dates with Flus and all personal issues. So if you're talking about Nate Davis, I think I may have heard or read about that. Don't really want to put too much stock into it. Look, at the end of the day, these are grown men. You get paid to perform. That's it. Point blank, period. Kobe once said that. I love it. You get paid to perform. You've got a job to do just like everybody else. Period. So as long as the checks are clearing for Nate Davis, and I'm pretty sure they are, he needs to go ahead and perform. Oh, so use wine tasting? I think that's how you say it. The coaches hyped us and effed us. Yeah, definitely. The coaches were unprepared. Mo Mizzle, they didn't play Foreman. They did. He had 5 carries, I believe, for 16 yards. Chump Brizzle, I don't see Khalil Herbert being RB1 since he isn't a great pass catcher or blocker. Absolutely. I think Khalil Herbert, best case scenario, is like a bit of a change of pace running back. At worst, he's a breather back. Roshan Johnson's way better than him. Way better than him. All right, a couple more questions here. Do submit super chat, guys, if you want your question answered. Xavier, shout out Famous Fades. Yes, shout out Famous Fades. Great place for barbers. That is a great place to go get your haircut, by the way. So shout out Famous Fades for the plug. Fernando Alarcon, what is the score prediction for the Bucs game? Look, I should have that video out for you guys by end of day tomorrow. Got a lot of content here that I'm putting out this week. Man, it's just it's crazy how much content there's to put out because I'm trying to do NFL in general as well. But early thoughts on the Bucs game. They've got a good defense or decent defense. It's going to be definitely a tough one. Baker Mayfield, while he's not elite by any means, he'll keep them in the game. They got a good win against a Minnesota team. It's probably going to be low scoring. Honestly, I can't tell you right now. Probably leaning towards Bears just because if they don't win that game, then you're looking at 0-3 because you got Kansas City in week 3. But yeah, I mean, like, I'll have my final score prediction tomorrow, so I can't say that. Jay Skrill 74. If DJ isn't getting the ball, will fans start saying he's a bust? LOL. Because Claypool played decent with Pitt, just like DJ played good with Carolina. Yeah, we're going to revolt if DJ Moore does not get the football. I am going to continue to hammer the point that Luke Getsy needs to get DJ Moore the football. That is coaching malpractice. All right. Just going through some questions here for you guys. How many games? So Scott Gagnon, I hope I pronounced that correctly. How many games do you give Eberflus before you fire him if things don't improve? So if it goes really bad, like I'm saying, like we win like 2 games or something through like 10 games. If it's going really bad, 1 or 2 games, I would fire him 3/4 of the way in the season. And then if it's going just like okay, nothing special, he probably gets the season and then we fire him. But yeah, I think like the issue I have here, not the issue I have, the problem I see is that this is Ryan Poles' guy, and he knows that if he fires Matt Eberflus, then that's an indictment on his kind of GM ability because he handpicked Matt Eberflus. And so if the coach goes, usually the GM has to go. Now, that's not always the case. Ryan Pace went through a couple of coaching regimes, right? He went with John Fox and then he picked Matt Nagy. But it won't look good on Ryan Poles. So Ryan Poles is not going to rush into firing Matt Eberflus unless he absolutely has to. That's why I say 3/4 of the season is probably going to be the earliest. All right, let's see here. Next question. Bob asks, Getsy should be fired. We can't wait. The Fields question has to be answered this year. How will you know anything about Fields in this offense? Absolutely. Great point. If we are just planning on the short passing game and screens all year long, then Luke Getsy needs to be gone. We need a full evaluation of if Justin Fields is the guy. And if that means he's going to throw and get picked off every single game, so be it. Then we know he's not the guy. But don't hide that from us. Let us see it. Open up the full playbook. Please, Luke Getsy. He is not a rookie. Take off the training wheels. My goodness. Please let the kid throw. Mo Mizzle, Flus needs to be the defensive play caller. I agree. If Alan Williams continues this, Matt Eberflus needs to man up and take back play calling from him and call out the defense. Otherwise, what is he really bringing to the team? Hits? Sorry. No. Could say a bad word here, but I'm not going to. Nonchalant SU 54-5s. Why are they doing dink and dunk with the killer wide receivers we have? Quick slants will kill most teams with these. I totally agree. I don't know if you guys play Madden, but man, those slants in Madden work magic. I always like torch the defenses for like 60-yard touchdowns on those. Just running on the slants, man. And DJ Moore caught a slant and he punished the Packers the other game. Again, I know it's Madden, but just hear me out. Like, the slants would work even better. My goodness. Fernando, where are you at on the Fields belief scale? 1 to 10, 10 being I'm all in, 1 being I'm all out. Right now, I would probably say I'm at a 7. I'm at a 7. I'm more towards in than out. I believe in the kid. He's the most physically gifted quarterback we've ever drafted, and I believe we can make it work with him. It's just a matter of if it's going to happen. All right, a couple more questions here, guys. Super chats. If you want your question answered, just trying to go through these. Lucha, I swear you could switch the coaches and rosters, and somehow the Bears would still have lost. It's insane or a curse. I don't know. Bring back the Honey Bears. That made me laugh. Honestly, I had this thought the other day. Honestly, honest to God, I had this thought, which was, hey, what if like Patrick Mahomes was on the Bears? What if we had like Tyreek Hill, and what if we had like Travis Kelce? What if we had the Eagles offensive line? Like the only thing that's changing is that they're wearing Bears uniforms. Would the Bears be Super Bowl contenders then? Like I still had to think and say, oh yeah, they would be, because it's like there's not a curse, right? It can't be, right? Like if we had all the best players, it would be a good team. That's how damaged we are as Bears fans. That's how like much we've been tortured. That I'm putting together an all-star team in my head, and I'm still wondering if they would be good or not because they would have Bears uniforms on. DJ Moore will start getting pissed if he doesn't see some improvement. Absolutely, man. You know, with wide receivers, you know what the deal is with wide receivers. They need the football. Throw it to DJ Moore. Michael Boston, I really hope Justin Fields is our guy. I really hope so too. I really, really hope so too. And, you know, I believe he is our guy. I hope he is our guy. We'll see what happens. Any more super chats that I will answer? Otherwise, just going to continue to go through this. Football CF Candy. The Bears need an offensive-minded coach. It feels struggles again this year because the coaching process is horrible by them. Yeah, look, when they hired Matt Eberflus, I was not a big fan of the hire. I said it was a ho-hum hire. I didn't think it was amazing, and I think it was terrible, but I was like, he doesn't move the needle for me, and that's still the case. Matt Eberflus, to me, doesn't really do anything where I'm like, oh my goodness, like we've got an elite head coach. Like if we had a Mike McDaniel, if we had a Sean McVay, if we had a young offensive-minded genius of a head coach, then I would feel like, oh yeah, They definitely. Excuse me. Battery dying here, guys. Just hang tight with me. Then I would definitely be like, oh yeah, we got somebody good. But no, like Matt Eberflus, just such a ho hum head coach. Don't really feel great about him, and didn't like the hire when it happened. Honest to God, I didn't like it. So hopefully, and then Luke Getzey, he's okay, I guess, but yeah, it's not that great. Have you seen the QB football CF Candy? Have you seen the QB School Plus Tim Jenkins video ripping Luke Getzey? He was complaining about the play calling being incompetent. Why are there no media members asking questions about Getzey's play calling? I think I saw that on Twitter. Not 100%, but I think folks have asked in the media about his play calling. But here's the thing, man. I thought about this too the other day because who was it? Somebody on the radio asked Matt Eberflus about the play calling and like why DJ Moore didn't get any targets or didn't get as many targets. And it was all coach speak. It was a word salad. It was just like, oh yeah, we need to do this because that's how it works, and like we'll change things up and we'll improve and we'll go back and look at it's like the same answer for every question. We'll go back and look at the tape. We'll see what we need to do and we'll make the adjustments. And we're all disappointed in the result, but all we can do is turn the page and look towards the box. It's like the same answer. So Luke Getzey asking him the question, while I think it is warranted, his answer I don't think would be anything like earth shattering where he'd be like, oh yeah, this is why. And we'd be like, oh my goodness, it's just going to be coach speak. It's like, oh yeah, that's just what the game plan was. They played good defense and they did this, yada, yada. You're like, sorry. That's all. We don't. So stop making excuses. Love the show, Faiz. Appreciate that, Dan. Appreciate that. And that is an interesting icon picture. When Eberflus got hired, I was like, who the F is that? Frank Quares. Yeah. Not great to hear that when you hear that. Chris Ayers, what's it gonna take for Roschon to be the starter? Look, he should be the starter next week. Period. His best running back on the team. What's it gonna take? For Roschon to keep performing when he gets to football, right? So he needs to keep outperforming Herbert and Foreman, and that's pretty much the biggest thing. And maybe a little bit more time just as the coaches get more comfortable with him. I wish we got Dabble. Well, he did get blasted by the Cowboys on Sunday night by 40-0. So look, folks. So look, here's the thing. I'm gonna kind of wrap things up by saying this. It's week 1. Joe Burrow struggled. Josh Allen struggled. A lot of quarterbacks struggled. Daniel Jones, a lot of quarterbacks struggled. A lot of offenses struggled. Let's revisit this again during midseason. And if this is still going on, then absolutely we should be concerned. But just know, I am not going to be afraid to call out whoever needs to get called out if the Bears don't perform. All right? Every single week I'm going to be here, and based on how the game goes, I will call out whoever needs to get called out. And I don't care who it is, whether that's Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, Justin Fields, Luke Getzey. Everybody needs to be held accountable. Everybody gets paid to do a job, and they get paid very well, by the way, very handsomely. All right, the check's clear. So they all need to get held accountable, and us as fans deserve to have a football team that we can be proud of, that we can root for. Until we get that, we are allowed to complain. You don't like it, perform better. Right? I heard one of the Bears players, I think even DJ Moore said that, right? Like, I was surprised they were booing in the second quarter. Look, just give us something to cheer about, then we won't boo you guys. Like, we want the team to succeed even more so, I think, than the players. These players aren't really Bears fans that are Bears players, right? They get paid to do a job, but we're even more passionate about that. So that's where I'm at, people. Like, I can be a fan, but I can still be objective and I can still be critical. I'm not going to wave pom poms for this team and just say, "Oh, everything's fine. Just look on the positive side." No, whoever needs to get called out will get called out. That's just how it is. All right, so I'm going to end it here, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the live stream, and I'll be doing a lot more of these. I promise you. I've said that in the past and haven't done it, but this time I mean it. I promise you guys more live streams coming as always. Thanks for watching.